It's one of my favorites. It's called Third Eye.
Não adianta. Tudo que se quer, tudo que se ama, a vida nos dá. O problema é encontrar. O problema é encontrar. E fui caminhando e tentando encontrar em alguém o amor, pra então eu sentir a beleza que há em viver e amar. Eu andei, andei e voltei ao mesmo lugar. Eu andei, andei e voltei ao mesmo lugar. Não adianta chorar, não adianta gritar, não adianta, não adianta.
forever. When the road gets rough, baby, bring them a brighter day. Now let a little rain on you in the day, but you can see it forever. Winter pattern there like a third stare, dancing in sunny and cloudy weather. Gone, let a little rain clear when the pain that you can see, girl, forever and ever. Pocahontas there, feather in your hair, dancing to me your own kind of weather. Now, when you get there, be bright and sunny, babe. Could you show the sun inside a cloudy weather? Rain and rose, true love was forever. Show me, show your stuff, lady, taking my breath. Hey, wait, hey, hey, hey. Love you, girl, it's like put your hand on the hip, let your backbone slip it, pop it, slip it, dang, 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 dang. This is for you, spring and honey. Say, when you get there, be bright and sunny, babe. Come on, show the sun inside cloudy weather. Rain and rose, true love is forever. Let them know you know love and smile. I'm your best bouquet. Set your sun inside cloudy weather. Rain and rose, gonna be lovers forever. When the road gets rough, baby, bring
right, guys. So I think it's okay to start now. We got at least a handful of people in. A couple less people than I was anticipating, but I shouldn't be surprised. It is Sunday. Most people are out or watching football. So I decided to do the live stream today instead of tomorrow. Uh, because it was a night race last night, I could talk about that. And I wanted to switch it up a little bit just to see how this plays out. So before I get into it, I'm going to read a few comments. I'm going to see who's in the room. Welcome, everybody. Bobby87, welcome. We got Austin, welcome. Let's see. We also got Samuel Smith, welcome. Andrew Rye, welcome. Project 94, welcome. So we got a couple people in the room. I mean, it's better than nothing. Let's see. Project 94 is uploading his latest video. If and when it's up, I'll talk about that. We'll go to that. Hopefully, my hotspot doesn't start to crap out by then. Let's see. Andrew says, made a new profile image for my stat sheet on iRacing. It's a head of a Taurus. I was born in April, so that makes me a Taurus. Yeah, I was born in April, but I'm in Aries. Diehard, welcome. Arlacani, welcome. Arlacani says, watched a lot of that race and thought it was the worst Bristol race I had ever seen, but maybe I am biased because my driver finished down 5 laps, 29th, and was eliminated. I just reviewed the Tyler Reddick car, says Project 94. All right, so I'm going to talk a bit about the race. Um, I enjoyed it for the most part. Was it a great race? No. It was average to slightly above average, but I'm going to call it average. But that being said, I'm okay with average once in a while. I don't expect every race to be the greatest fucking thing. We saw a couple of really, really good races. A great race at Darlington, and Kansas was really good. So, okay, this was pretty average, but I'm okay with that, right? Now, another thing I want to point out, um, I've seen a lot of people complain about how hard it is to pass, things like that. But I want you to take a moment and just remember old Bristol. Like before the fucking this new car, this race wasn't that different. I people I know, I'm not trying to sell it to you. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. But it looked very, very similar to previous races. Like before the previous gen, the gen before that, the racing has always been track position, very difficult to pass. You got the high line holding off the low line, kind of getting, trying to pass. It's always been a bump and run type of track, even though we don't see them doing the bump and run as much. For some reason, I think a lot of, I don't know if it's the drivers or who, but they're not using the bumper as much as they used to in the old days. Um, I don't know. It's like the couple of times you did see somebody kind of tap someone's bumper, it was like, ooh, like a big deal. I don't know. That's just something I noticed. Maybe it's just me. But overall, it really that fucking different? I don't think it was. This looks like a typical or pretty typical Bristol race. I don't remember Bristol ever being easy to pass and all this amazing. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But, um, oh my God, now that Bobby mentions it, let me mention this now before I forget. Sherry Pollux, Martin Truex's wife passed away. So rest in peace to her. That's a really, really sad story. Uh, I don't know what else to say, but except, rest in peace. And yeah, that's a real bummer, man. Uh, wow. So yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. Jonathan Johnson, welcome to the live stream. So, again, maybe you guys disagree, and that's fine. I don't think that the race was that different. People are acting like, oh my God, this new car with this track. It's like, oh my God, it's like, this looks like pretty typical Bristol racing to me. Um, Another thing is they got rid of, um, oh, Andrew says ex-girlfriend. Okay, I'm sorry to, yeah, I don't, I'm not really follow, like, I don't know for sure, so my apologies on that, but, I thought that was wasn't that his girlfriend? I don't know. Anyway, I apologize for that. But uh, it just feels like a typical Bristol race. I'm glad they got rid of the dirt, but there's already people complaining about that, of course. Now, to those people complaining about the dirt being, gone, that was a gimmick. Gimmicks never last. In the beginning of a gimmick, you're going to get all this attention and then it dies. The crowds were dreadful, as was the crowd last night. Like, people just aren't going to Bristol anymore. Those days of selling out both events, those days are gone. Maybe they'll come back someday, but I do think NASCAR needs to consider eliminating one of the dates. They don't deserve two dates. I don't think any track should have two dates, but it Bristol clearly doesn't. They don't get anybody at that track. It's embarrassing to see how few people attend. So the dirt races were empty. And this race last night was empty. I think get rid of one of the dates. Maybe it makes that event more special because it's only once a year. More people will probably go to that instead of like having two dates where people could say, well, if I don't make this one, I'll just go to the other one. Uh, if you only have one date, everyone that wants to go is going to make that event. I guarantee you're going to get a bigger crowd. Are you going to sell out again? I don't know. It's going to take more than, a gimmick to sell out. So I just thought it was a pretty typical Bristol race, right? I've never been a big fan of Bristol, so for me, I enjoyed it enough, right? I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking they're going to see when these guys go to Bristol. It looked like a Bristol race. I don't remember even the older cars racing that differently, right? Now, if you want to go back to before for those of you who don't remember, years ago, I think Bruton Smith reconfigured Bristol. They did this like progressive banking, and I think a lot of people did feel like the racing got worse after that. That I'll agree with, right? But this race last night was pretty on par with what we've been getting for years. So I don't know why people are going out of their way and they're like, oh my God, this is like it's typical Bristol. Either you like it or you don't. I enjoyed it enough, but I don't want to see it twice a year. I'm glad they got rid of dirt. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let me read a few comments and then I'll get into more commentary on that. Let's see. I feel bad for Kevin. For Kevin, the team just never gave him the best car. He did have a winning car at Darlington, but for some reason it never showed the same speed. Uh, Hopefully, my favorite driver, Kevin, will win this season. Yeah. Look, he's been inconsistent. Sometimes he's pretty fast, sometimes not. It is what it is. That whole organization has taken a big step back in recent years. So I'm not really surprised he didn't advance. But if you're a fan, I get it. I feel for you. Let's see. Arla Khan, says, I feel like Harvick often chokes. 2020, when he ran like 30th at Martinsville, got eliminated, but this race, so many contenders were off pace. Why do you think that is? Well, first, I don't like that word choke. Like, I honestly don't think it's fair to say anybody chokes, right? Some of these guys just run into some bad luck. Things happen. Look at Martin Truex last week, what happened with the fucking tire. I mean, that fucking first couple of laps, anything can happen. You're dealing with a sport where it's not just about the driver, it's about the teams, it's about the car. Mechanical issues could pop up. There's too many variables, right? You do need some luck to succeed, no matter who you are. Um, I'm sorry. I don't consider him a choker. Like, I don't know. I just don't, I don't know. I don't, the word choke for me is not appropriate for the situation. They're just not as fast as people. He had some good runs this year, but he also had bad runs. That's inconsistency. It's like, look at Trackhouse, right? Just as an example, a lot of people, got to the point where they expect Trackhouse to be a contender every week. That's not if you're gonna be honest, they're a second tier team. I've said this before. They are not a top tier team like a Hendrick or a Gibbs or even RFK now. Now you have to consider those guys top tier. Every fucking week they show up. They're fast. Both cars are fast. They're very competitive. Keselowski and Busher. So they're, I think, at this point right now, officially a top tier team. Like, I didn't think so earlier this year, but they every week they show up. And of course, Logano's team. This always happens to me. I think I'm having early onset Alzheimer's or something. Penske. I forget the most obvious shit sometimes. But anyway, those are your top tier teams. Everyone else is kind of a notch below. So Trackhouse, look at Chastain. He's not as fast as he was last year or even in the first half of this year. Suarez is like, they are hit and miss. Some weeks they show up, they're fast. Other weeks they're not. They're inconsistent. In many ways, they remind me a lot of uh, Ganassi. Ganassi was never a top tier team. Okay, except that one fucking magical year with Sterling Marlin, where he ended up getting hurt. So outside of that, Ganassi was never top tier. They were always a second tier team. And Trackhouse reminds me a lot of Ganassi Racing. So does that mean they're never going to get better? Of course not. They're going to continue to improve, hopefully, make the proper changes. But I'm just pointing out that people forget where these people, these teams, these organizations really are. So you look at Kevin Harvick, and he's a former champion. He's an all time great driver. And in the beginning, Stewart Haas Racing was a top tier team. They haven't been top tier in a while now. So even though Harvick and that race team has broken through, even in these rough times for them, they were never like consistent. So am I really surprised that he's out? I'm not, to be honest. This isn't, it doesn't have anything to do with Kevin Harvick. It's just the way it is. Again, I'll remind people, as great as these drivers are, they can't succeed without a proper team around them. You got to have the right people. A lot of things have to work together for success. This is why there's very few people that have consistent success, right? So, yeah, that's just a reminder. A lot of guys quit on people right away and right away, oh, this guy sucks now. Well, shit, what's happening? What's going on with the team? They're not as consistent. It starts at the top and it filters all the way down. So that's all I'm saying. Um, can he still pop and a win, pop out a win before the end of the year? Yeah, anything could happen. I wouldn't be shocked. But Stuart Haas just right now isn't where they need to be, and the same goes for Trackhouse. Um, you know, I'm being honest. I'm a Trackhouse fan, but they still have a ways to go. They're not fast every week. Now we could next week they could be competitive. The week after that. But what I'm saying is they're up, they're down. You just don't know from week to week. Um, yeah. So let's see. Jonathan Johnson. Captain Sleeveless said he likes the single groove Bristol. I always loved the multi groove Bristol. I don't really care what Captain Sleeveless thinks, to be honest. I hope NASCAR will try Eldora like dirt racing. I think Eldora would be a good fit since it hosted some great truck races. I'm really on the. I'm not crazy about dirt racing, and would I go crazy if they added, Eldora? No, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. It's like if you're gonna have, I'm just not a dirt fan. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not gonna lose my shit if they add it. If not, whatever. Andrew says, agree. One Bristol should be a night race. Yeah, a night race. The more night races, the better. I think NASCAR should push for more night races. I think it's a mistake to compete with the NFL on Sundays. I know most of the year happens before the NFL season, but look at now. Football started, and you're going to lose a big chunk of people. They're going to go watch football over NASCAR for the most part. It's just not good to compete head to head with the NFL. If you can run more races on Saturday nights, especially at this stage, once the NFL season starts, that's what I would do. Um, and definitely, they need to lose a fucking date. Bristol should not have two dates. They cannot even get half the fucking place filled. It's just it's not good. Jonathan says, or Knoxville. I don't know, man. You got the wrong guy. I'm not a dirt guy. Let's see. Diehard says 10 years of GTA 5. Yep, 10 years, and I'm ready, man. I'm ready for GTA 6. I got so much I want to talk about, but like I said, I want to I want to talk about GTA 6 when there's things to talk about. I'm tired of these fucking people milking GTA 5. They're milking it beyond belief. I'm ready to move on from that. Jonathan says it's because Tony is more invested in the and interested in NHRA. Not saying it's bad, but if it's taking from NASCAR, he needs to pick one or the other, and I'm sure he'll pick NHRA. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that first of all, look, Tony Stewart, his involvement even from the beginning is limited. I think people overestimate how much his input really matters. It's him, Stuart Haas, it's a whole organization. Him spending more time somewhere else, I don't think is the reason I think that first of all, I'm not a fan of these big mega teams. Mega teams like four teams, right? Um, I just wish we didn't have any four team organizations. They're too big, and more eventually it's going to be an issue because you're spreading yourself thin. There's too many places for resources to get sucked up. Some people get away with it. Rick Hendrick, Gibbs, but honestly, um, running a four-team organization is a massive undertaking, and I think they would be better off if they got rid of sold one of their charters and stripped it down to three teams. Three-team organization still pretty big, and it would give you more uh, ability to put your resources where they need to go. I don't like four car teams. I just don't. I think it was a mistake, and I think it caught up with them. I think I'm not saying that's the only problem, but I'm saying if they pared it down to 3 teams, I think they would be in a better position to allocate resources, right? Instead of running, you know, just a one car team. You got how many fucking people? And I'm not just talking about the team that shows up on race day to the racetrack. I'm talking about people back at the shop, everything from top on down. Just to have one car, one team, it's an undertaking, right? Imagine 4 fucking cars. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask. I would definitely sell a charter, and stick to 3 teams. That's just me. Let's see. Andrew says Trackhouse isn't top tier yet, but they have potential. I agree. They have a lot of potential, and we've seen that potential, but they aren't in a position yet to be like super competitive every week at every track. You look at RFK, I don't know what they've done, but they put the right people in the right places, and RFK is a top tier team now. Like even earlier this year, I did the tier maker list, and I had them as second tier, like Trackhouse. They're better than Trackhouse in terms of putting out fast race cars. Like I said, it's not just the drivers, guys. Um, you got to have everything in place. Jonathan says, hold on a second. I skipped some. All right. Trackhouse still figuring things out, but feel really good about them. Yeah, I think they're on the right pace. Justin Marks is a very intelligent guy, and he's doing things differently. I am a big fan, and I think they are in the right direction. In fact, you 2 years in a row, you have people in the chase. Like, is it that big a deal now? No, you got 16 people in the chase, too many. But the bottom line is just making the playoffs is a big deal to sponsors and everybody. So last year both cars got in. This year only Chastain, but still that's a big accomplishment. But he is not. I don't think he's ready to be a champion yet. Like they're not consistent enough. They're just not. Um, hopefully that changes. Jonathan says, hopefully because Trackhouse will get Bush Beer on board, hopefully that'll help them improve. Listen, anytime you get a big sponsor, that's big money. That's always a good thing. Project 94, for those of you guys who want this news, Daytona 2 is finally getting ported to consoles. It will be one of only 2 stock car racing games that we will get to play this year. No sim titles, sadly. Yeah, who knows? Maybe somebody wants to play that. It's really not my cup of tea, right? I did enjoy the videos highlighting the things about it that could translate to a good NASCAR video game. But yeah, it's pure arcade. Just like this fucking NASCAR Rush garbage. That's not for me. You want to talk about 3-year-olds with hand controllers? That's what Arcade Rush or NASCAR, whatever the fuck this shit is. That's what that's for. Austin, I like races on a Saturday night for decompression reason. There's so many reasons why Saturday nights work. And yes, decompression. I know firsthand what it's like to travel to a NASCAR race and have to work the next day. I know what that's like. It's a big deal. It's not like going to a fucking Yankee game where you can walk up and buy tickets and just go home afterwards. Traveling to a fucking NASCAR race is a very exhausting experience. It's a big weekend. It's not even considered a 1 day event. It's like that's your weekend. So decompression reasons, and it gives you a buffer. Well, what if it rains on Saturday? Well, then you could still run it on Sunday. People don't have to be like, I can't, I gotta miss it because I gotta get back to work, whatever, right? So that's another reason. And the third reason is, like I said, I don't think it's healthy for NASCAR to compete head to head with the NFL. I'm just the football season has started. A lot of NASCAR people that do watch NASCAR, They're going to be focused more on the NFL now. And that's the truth. The NFL is a monster. It's NASCAR shouldn't they should avoid as much as they can. I know they can't every week, but anytime you can move a race to like a Saturday night, if you have to reconfigure the schedule to do it, to run tracks that have lights, then do that. Like I don't understand NASCAR. They make a lot of bad decisions and I don't get it. Like hasn't anybody over at NASCAR thought to themselves, maybe we shouldn't be competing head to head with the NFL? Maybe we should move the race, try to put more night races. On top of that, night races are cool. So I don't know. That's just me. That's what I would do. Diehard says, remember E3 is on October. Um, I don't know what you're referring to. If you're thinking GTA 6, Rockstar has never used E3 um, to promote games. They just never done it. They always do their own thing. Every year, people bring up E3 and Rockstar, and it's just I wish they did, but they do their own thing. I don't know if that's why you brought up E3. Let me know. Jonathan says, I do think it's odd that NASCAR removed most of Saturday night races this year, like Kansas. It's always better at night. I thought Martinsville is good at night. I agree. Again, who's making these decisions? Why? It doesn't make sense. Why would you fucking do that? I don't get it. Diehard, all my favorite GTA YouTubers retired 5 years ago. Elite Precision, welcome. Just imagine telling someone back in 2013 when GTA 5 first came out that the next GTA game won't be another 10 years or so. That's insane. Well, that's the way it is now. Um, it's it's a shame. I now that we mentioned the whole thing, I'm gonna let people know. I honestly think GTA 6. I do think it's gonna be a great game. There's no I mean, Rockstar has yet to disappoint. I know that whole GTA trilogy disaster is one thing, but they didn't touch that. They hired an outside company to do that. That's still their responsibility. I still blame Rockstar, but they fucked that up. They definitely got greedier. They've just released the original Red Dead Redemption and they charged $50 for it, even though it's nothing but a port. They did nothing to the game. So the Rockstar we used to know is just not the same anymore. But also, I think GTA 6 is going to be the last truly great I was going to say NASCAR, uh, Rockstar title. Um, they have the money, they have the resources. However, the people behind all of these great games we've had from Rockstar for the past 20 years are gone. Not all of them, but a lot of the main players. Leslie Benzies, I forgot the guy's name. I mentioned him before. He's a writer. He just left, very deeply involved with the writing, and Dan Hauser. So you got these aren't just bit players. These are major players in game development at Rockstar Games. They're gone. So you can't lose that many people that are that integral to your success and not have it affect you. I'm not maybe they will still put out great games, but I you're going to lose something. So, I'm just telling you, I'm worried about what happens after GTA 6. And in fact, there are red flags just for GTA 6 that I am worried about in terms of microtransactions and all that stuff. I will be making videos on that down the line. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's crazy. Andrew says, I hear Trackhouse is going to have Zane Smith in 2025 in a future third car. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I know Zane Smith is a talented driver, but didn't they? just sign SVG? What's going on with that? I know he's not running the full schedule. He's doing several races in different series, but I thought he was their long-term plan to add. So I don't know what's going on. If they're looking to expand, you know, again, I'm not a fan of these big mega teams, but I think 3 cars is right on the border of acceptable. Penske does okay, um, even though that 2 car hasn't been good. But Cindric is hasn't shown anything either. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what I think. I got to be honest. I don't know what to think of that. Diehard, what do you think of Zane and Carson? Well, like I said, Zane does look like he has potential. He's definitely talented. Carson definitely uh, is talented. Now, I hate to say this, but he's. I know that a lot of people said Noah Gregson his wasn't able to do anything because that 42 car is terrible, and that's partially true, right? But Carson has only run a handful of races in that car, and he's impressed every time. He has clearly outrun Noah Gregson in the same car, same equipment. So um, I am impressed with Carson Hocevar. I'm not really a fan of his. Uh, I've I've seen him do a lot of boneheaded shit in trucks, but I don't know if he's just gotten really good advice or he's just smart enough to know I'm in the Cup Series. I don't want to do anything to piss people off and do anything stupid and maybe just dial it back a notch. And sometimes less is more. So dialed it back. He's keep bringing the car home for the most part. I know he had issues in one race, but he's looked really good. And I don't know what uh I fucking hate that Legacy Motorsport Club name, but I don't know what they're waiting for. Like, why haven't you announced a contract? Maybe they're working on something, right? But I would sign him ASAP. Again, am I saying this guy's the next greatest thing ever? No, but I'm impressed. He's been able to keep the car for the most part clean and finish races, and he's looked really good. So I am impressed with Carson Hocevar. And if they don't fucking sign him, somebody else is gonna fucking snatch him up. I mean, I don't know what his deal is with contracts wise. What if he's committed to some other Xfinity or trucks? I don't know, but I think he's ready for Cup. Does that mean he's ready to be a champion? No. There are stages, guys. But I like what I see. And if I'm right now building a team, and I must, especially if I'm like one of these smaller cup teams, I'm doing what I can to snatch him up and sign him up. I am impressed with him, and I'm not really a fan of his, but gotta admit he's run really good. Jonathan says, I agree that Stewart-Haas Racing should go down to 3 full-time and then use one part for part-time drivers like Newman is for Rick Ware. I think they should go down to 3 cars and just sell the charter. Forget this part-time shit because even that takes resources. Focus on your 3 cars. Focus on that. Um, that's what I think. Bobby says I don't like the idea of taking a long time for a game because just look at GTA 5. Xbox PS4 technically didn't even have its own GTA game. Now you'll have to get new gen consoles for GTA 6. Um I don't mind a long development period because to me it helps you produce a better product. I'm not a fan of rushing a game before it's ready. Now, how much time do you fucking need? I don't think you need 10 years, right? But I also don't want them to rush something out the door. Um, as for the consoles, the best thing they did was develop this game for next gen. I I know it sucks for the previous gen console guys, but at some point you got to move on. You can't expect developers to forever make games for your console. That's the way it's always worked. There's new technology, people want better and better games, and if you want these developers to keep developing for these previous gen consoles, then it's going to diminish how much better the product's going to be for the next gen and for future, moving forward. If you want better games and you want better technological advancements, then you got to leave the old tech behind. At some point, you got to shit or get off the pot. Get yourself a next gen console. Um, I think that's a good decision. I would be very worried if they had said it's also going to be available for previous gen consoles because that is going to hold the game back because then you can't do certain things because it's not going to work on previous gen. So that's actually a good thing. I know maybe you don't feel that way right now, but between now and when it releases, you got plenty of time to get a next gen console. Trust me, in the long run, it's for the best. You'll be happier that they didn't hold the game back because they want to make it available to inferior consoles. My point is, if you're say stuck with an Xbox One, you may only get one game per console generation, like GTA. Again, I don't know what to tell you. If you feel like you're stuck with an old console, maybe for financial reasons, I feel for you, but technology has to move forward. And I don't want a fucking GTA 6 game that feels outdated because they have to appease a very old console generation. I mean, we are 3 years in now into this new console. You can't even call it new anymore. I mean, come on. It's time to move on. Diehard says, I was in middle school, got GTA 5 in day one, and now I'm almost 23. Yeah, it's fucking. But you know what? The community's partly to blame. They keep buying these shark cards, and they made this the most profitable piece of media in history. So why would Rockstar rush out the next game even if forget about calling it rushed? Why should they push something out when their old ass 10-year-old game is still making money? People are still buying that game. So is partly the consumers uh you know fault. I'm telling you, if the money stopped coming in, they'd push that fucking GTA 6. It would have came out by now. So John says hopefully whoever's making NASCAR games for now, hopefully they have 2023 NASCAR game ready. Nah, it is wishful thinking. That's not happening. Um, I don't even want a game that fast. It's like take your time, do it right the first time. We don't need another cycle of fucking rushed product. It doesn't work. Die Hard, I meant to World of Outlaws for 4 days this year, racing every night. Austin says, I got to go to a race one day. I know I'll be exhausted, but the experience is unbelievable from what I've seen. Yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody. If you could ever make a live NASCAR race, it's an amazing experience. I highly recommend it. Elite Precision says, I thought E3 was dead. This is the first I've heard of it, so I don't know. Maybe they're bringing it back in October, whatever. But let's be honest, E3 has sucked for years. Um, these big announcements at E3, they're fucking. I rarely see something that gets me excited. Like it's just fucking the same old. Oh, look, another fucking Battlefield game. Oh, wow, another first-person shooter. They're all the same. So okay. Uh, Project 94 says videos up 7:15 will be the start time so I can process up to HD. Yeah, I'm going to wait a little longer. Just, I don't want it to be all fucked up. See, plus night races, you can get some good racing, especially at tracks as multi-groove image. If Auto Club had a night race for the Cup Series earlier this year. I agree, Jonathan. Austin says, right on project. Diehard, last game with the creator of GTA will be 6. Yeah, that's my point. I'm telling the guys that made Rockstar what it was, they're gone now. Dan Houser was part of GTA 6. Like, even though he's been gone for a couple years, he was there in the beginning and through several years of development. So his DNA, his fingerprints are still going to be felt, right? The writer that just left, I forgot his name. He's also his fingerprints are on it. But like I said, um, I think after GTA 6, the future, all these projects in the future, it's not going to have that same feel. I'm not saying they won't be good, but it is what it is. Die Hard says you hear they got using a cracked version of their port for Manhunt. I don't know anything about that. Austin says SVG has a developmental deal, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't, it's not a full-time deal. He's going to run like several races, but I'm not sure what the deal is, but I guess it is developmental. Let's see. Jonathan says, I know what's your opinion on road courses, but I heard Road America, not Coda, but Road America is a good road course. But NASCAR announced Xfinity isn't returned. Yeah, I heard about that. I know it's a popular road course. Even though I don't care for road courses, I don't really like it. It was really popular, and enough people liked it that I did. I had nothing to say about it. Even though I don't enjoy it, I'm just one guy, and it was popular, and I don't understand why NASCAR would make that decision, except that, as usual, they got to be on fucking drugs or something. Doesn't make sense. Austin says Carson still has a lot of maturing to do, but he's impressed the hell out of me. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't follow him that much, but just looking at what he's done in Cup, definitely impressive. And he's that. Remember, he's doing that in the 42 car. Very impressive. Diehard says they want out Noah for John Hunter Nemechek. Look, whether you like John Hunter Nemechek or not, I know you're a Noah Gragson fan, but I'm just saying Nemechek has run well everywhere he's been. Even when he was in Cup, he was driving for a really crappy team and he was running respectfully. He chose to go back down. So performance wise, I don't have a problem with that. I'm sorry, Noah Gragson in Cup, I'm just talking about in Cup, has been a disaster. That doesn't mean he'll never have another Cup chance or that he won't even do well. That's not what I'm saying, but he's looked really bad. For the opportunities he did get, I never saw anything that made me impressed. That's just me. Let's see. Carson is going to the 77. Is that for sure or just a guess? Dyer says PS2 had a game in 2013. I think with how popular PC gaming is, that should be the main focus. I better not have to wait another year or two for GTA 6. Good news. I heard, and it's again, you never know till it's official, but I do believe that they said they are releasing PC at the same time as console. Um, so that should be good news for a lot of people. I do think it sucks that they make people wait, and I think this time they're going to want to maximize profits immediately. And I did hear that it is going to be out at the same time on PC. Let's see. Die Hard, another Call of Duty, laughed my ass off. Yeah, I just don't get it. The writer is making a new game. Who are you talking about? Jonathan says, I gone to Texas Motor Speedway a few times when I was 3 or 4. Gone to a truck race. I gone to IndyCar when Spider-Man 3 came out. Then a cup race in 2010 and 2017. Cool. Diehard says Noah did more though. 15 NASCAR top 3 wins. Listen, I'm sorry, I get it. I know you love Noah, but once you get to Cup, I don't care what he did in Truck or Xfinity. I mean, at some point, you got to show something. I don't care that he's not winning in Cup. Nobody's expecting him to win, but you got to run respectful. You got to show something. Look at Carson. He's not winning, but he's running really well. Diehard says Waltrip said during the truck race he has a Cup deal, either the 16 or 77. Are you talking about Carson or Noah? The GTA guy. That's why he left. All right. Okay, guys. Let me go to. Hold on a second. Let's go to. Okay, hold on. Project 94. I'm gonna wait just a little longer. Oh, here we go. My live stream is starting to get choked. My fucking hotspot, I think, maxes out any minute now. You'll hear my phone beep anytime during this fucking live stream. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. Everybody, take your seats. It's time for the next Project 94 video on how to improve NASCAR games. Just uploaded. Hopefully, no issues.
Welcome back to How to Improve NASCAR Video Games. We are on Chapter 5, the basic necessities of a NASCAR game. Welcome to Chapter 5 of How to Improve NASCAR Video Games. This very well could be the finale of the series unless anyone else gives me any more ideas of how to improve these games. Now that we've talked about the presentation, the licensing concerns, the customization, the extra details, and the stats, it's time to talk about the basic necessities that every NASCAR game should have. These are very simple things that can make or break the quality of your NASCAR gaming life and experiences. Here's the first thing. Artificial intelligence technology. The AI. If there's anything on this list in particular that could make or break the game, it's the AI. These are computer-generated opponents that you race against. This can be made more fun than playing online if it is done right. For instance, give me AI that is smart, fun, competitive, and glitch-free. The best example of this in recent NASCAR games is NASCAR Heat 4. The cars race hard, but fair and clean at the same time. You don't want the AI to constantly be crashing you because they don't know where they are going. To create the racing lines at these tracks, why not just watch real-life races to observe racing lines at all the tracks and the driving style showcased within the field? It may not be perfect. NASCAR Heat 4 wasn't perfect on its own, but it can always be improved on game after game. Let's take a look at some NASCAR Heat 4 footage. And don't worry guys, I'm going to give these people credit for using their video. But I want you to watch how these guys are racing each other. Watch the AI.
Hey guys, welcome back to JD Rumble.
I don't want to show that, guys. I don't want to have him talk over because then I don't. But here's what I want you to look at, though. Look at this menu here. You can actually customize how the AI races you on this game. You can pretty much make it accommodate to your likings. So if you play the game and you want the AI to be close, or you want them to spread out, or do whatever you want them to do, you can adjust all these AI settings to make the game. You can pretty much customize the experience to your taste.
That is one of the best things that I enjoyed from NASCAR Heat 4. Racing the AI, I think that probably was the highlight. Like, that's the best thing about the game, is the AI. Also, all of these options that you can really dial in your racing experience. They did that really well. And they gave us so many options. And that to me is the highlight of NASCAR E4. Racing the AI and the options, you could really dial it in to your preference. It's the best of any of the console games that we've had.
So keep that in mind. Look at all these options you have. Of course, he's scrolling through them. But let's get out on the racetrack. Oops. What am I doing here? There you go. Let's get him out on the track. So here we go.
Sophisticated AI.
I can't show the video. Or the audio. I don't want to get busted for copyright. But yeah, just take a look at this AI. Probably not the best example, but when you play the game for yourself, the AI can be pretty fun to race against. But you see how they're holding their line.
And they run different lines. I remember that. You would have guys high, low, in the middle. And it just makes it feel a lot more organic. It doesn't feel like predetermined race lines. Of course they are, right? That's how video games work. But you did feel like you were racing real people at times, right? And I'm not telling you the AI was perfect, but in terms of video games, I think the AI of NASCAR Heat 4 is the best we've ever had. I'm talking about consoles.
They're racing properly. There's no errors, glitches like in NASCAR 21. It's a pretty competent game, as you guys can see. So there's really no big problems. Of course, you have the track map, you got draft partners. In career mode, you actually have a pretty good ally and rival system, which we could talk about maybe another time. But yeah, guys, the AI is pretty good. I want to see if I can get a clip of how it is on restarts, maybe, so that you can see how it actually begins. But this guy set it up to race more like real life. Here's a restart right here. Exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, watch this race right here.
Look at that. That's on a restart. And you don't see the fucking crazy shit that you see in fucking Ignition and even other games. These are professional race car drivers. And everybody's pretty much racing competently. And that's really good.
Not a single problem so far in the gameplay. So yeah, developers, if you're watching, make sure the game plays like this. If this video clip is not enough for you, then definitely watch more videos of NASCAR.
And iRacing's AI is really good. My only issue is it's inconsistent. And you really do have to invest a lot of time, test, tune, and making changes to get the AI to where you feel you're going to get a solid race from beginning to end. And in order to do that, you really do have to run like a full green flag run to really see how the AI is from beginning to end. So it is very rewarding, right? Once you invest the time and the energy into tweaking everything, you're going to get a great experience, right? So the AI in iRacing is very good. but you got to invest. You can't just like pick a setting and just say, okay, I'm going to get a good experience. And for consoles, a video game, right? Which isn't a full blown simulator, you really do have to have everything dialed in so that you get a consistent experience from race to race. Um, but this is where NASCAR Heat 4 really shines. Yeah, it's not perfect. Um, you still needed a little bit more tweaking here and there, but this is as good as it gets for a console.
Heat 4 from other people on YouTube, yeah, the AI has to race like this. The user interface, otherwise known as the main menu or main menus in the game, needs to be easy for players to navigate while at the same time being aesthetically pleasing. Of course, the functionality of the menus matter the most. Click on an option from the menu and it should take you straight to where you want to go as efficiently as possible. While I'm going to mention the E word again, guys. While the Eutechnics games had a very aesthetically pleasing menu, it took a long time to get from place to place. It has to be a good blend. Proper functionality, but not atrocious to look at.
And with the current consoles, right? PS5 I'm talking about, this current generation, they all have the ability to do instant, like fucking go from one thing to the next. The load time should be a thing of the past. There's no way or no reason, I should say, that we should be sitting around and just everything takes a long time to go from A to B. Everything should work quick and smooth.
The best example of this comes from NASCAR Heat 4, as you can see in the backdrop, which is really NASCAR Heat 5, but they had similar menus, just a different like background image and whatever. NASCAR Heat 5 had the switching cars, and NASCAR Heat 4 had the video highlight reel in the background. The options for the basic things need to work, such as audio, graphics, controls, display options, etc. NASCAR Heat 4 even gave you options for how the AI race against you. How close, how aggressive, the difficulty, and their recovery skill, which you guys were watching the guy fiddle around with earlier. This game did all of that the best and made the game more customizable for the players. But here's a better view of what a good user interface looks like. So let's get all the text out of the way and let's take a look at NASCAR Heat 4. As you guys can see, there it is. That's what the menu looked like. It was simple, it was effective, and it was good to navigate around. And it looked very modern as well. Kind of has a Monster Jam Urban Assault or Monster Jam 2007 vibe with the video going on in the background of the menu. But yeah, guys, give us a menu that works. Not too hard. Make sure that it's easy to navigate as well. The graphical appeal. Now the game, let me see, man, I wrote this sentence weird. Not every game needs to have the best graphics to be great, but NASCAR games should take advantage of good graphics. Of course, the cars need to look like cars. Scanning technology should do the trick, the same with the tracks. They need to be scanned so they can feel like their real-life counterparts. Make sure the fans in the stands don't look like colored pieces of cardboard cut out by a 10-year-old. Same with the trees, billboards, grandstands, etc. iRacing
That's the weakness of iRacing. The graphics are very dated. iRacing is using an extremely old engine. I'm the first to tell you that, it's the people. You can do a lot with a game engine. But if you're talking about something from like 20 fucking years ago, you're really, that's different. Like, but they still managed to make iRacing work, even with an extremely old engine. So it kind of proves my point. But at the same time, the one weakness is graphics. Like, they do use literal cardboard cutout people and trees and shit. It's like, it looks bad. But, it does the job. But for a video game, yeah, you're going to have to step it up.
Scans their tracks and cars to get the best looking results. Or just take some inspiration from other racing titles like Forza and Gran Turismo. If the game looks good, you have a better chance of drawing some more people in. Here's a good look at some good graphics from now.
And graphics are important. I know I don't talk a lot about that because we've had so many other more important issues. But let's, in all honesty, especially for a racing game, how many racing games do you see in or have seen in the past 10 years that look bad? I'm not talking about NASCAR. I'm talking about just racing titles of any kind. Race games usually really look good. Forza, that type of stuff. Um, these games tend to look good. So there's no reason you should have a NASCAR game that doesn't look at least modern and sleek.
NASCAR 21. And NASCAR 21, this was the only good thing about it. To keep that in mind. The rest of the game was trash. Okay? But just look at the graphics of it. You guys probably know at this point, but for the newer viewers, take a look at these graphics. And the music is off because I got my own.
I remember how excited I was watching these clips. I was like, wow, this looks cool. I can't wait to play it.
It's a shame that such a good-looking game was just so bad. It was awful, but just take a look at how the graphics look like. See how everything looks authentic and it looks really realistic? And it also sounded realistic as well. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about sound later. But yeah, take a look at this. Not bad looking, right? Looks pretty good.
This is the game. Any NASCAR game should at least look like this going forward. It's 2023. If it doesn't at least match this in terms of graphics, there's something wrong.
See, everything's authentic. Pit signs, walls, cars, tracks, the fans in the stands, just the overall detail. It's a pretty good looking game. I never bought this game because I don't want to give these guys money for how bad this game was. But looking at it, watching people play it, the game does look pretty good. Another thing, never pre-order games. I literally had to learn that the hard way in 2017 when I bought a game from a small developer. Fun fact. Camera views, adjustable. This is a pretty simple necessity.
Before he gets into this, yes, you should be able to adjust the field of view, and I want to see VR support and triple screen support. I mean, it's 2023, and it's a racing game. Every racing game should have VR and triple screen support, and an adjustable field of view. Those three things are a must. So
it has all the basic views you would see in any other racing game. Behind the car, above the hood, the bumper cam, far behind the car, and the cockpit. Make sure that you can adjust your field of view in all modes, especially in the cockpit. It seems like you sit a little too low in the default settings. Maybe you can move it up a few inches to see a little better. More like what the real drivers have. The good thing, at least, is that all NASCAR games have had adjustable views. Just improve on it a little more. Wait, did I just seriously put that? All NASCAR games have had adjustable views. Yeah, they were adjustable, but you couldn't, toggle it. Here's what I mean. I'll describe it a little bit more better.
You had different camera views, but you really couldn't adjust it. You should be able to adjust the field of view and all that. So, he knows.
So here's a screenshot from Rocket League. That is the type of adjustability that I want. So basically, you can pretty much change field of view, distance, height, angle, stiffness, swivel speed, transition speed, invert swivel. Pretty much all kinds of, you can literally zoom in as close to the car or as far away from the car as possible. And if you were in the cockpit, which this game doesn't have a cockpit, Rocket League doesn't, you don't need to be inside of those cars.
Yeah, I forgot.
But what I'm saying is when you're in the cockpit, do I have a better picture of it? No, of course I don't. When you're in the cockpit, it should be adjustable. You should move the camera up, down, forward, just pretty much every possible way you can do the views and stuff. Should be able to do it. But this is basically what you need to give people. Look at all these options. And you have to have these options available for each option for the views. In the car, out the car, pretty much everything we talked about. This is the way you can do it. Just watch people play Rocket League and how they adjust their cameras so they can run better. Basic gauges and track map. This is as basic gets. Folks, we get it. It's not realistic to race with a bunch of HUDs and gauges in your face. But it would be nice to have a fuel gauge, a tire wear indicator, and a track map for casual players. If you feel that it is unrealistic or it harms the experience of the authenticity in any way, make it an option to toggle them on and off. It's that simple. Look at past NASCAR games and you will see that these gauges are there. The gauges are there. As something to add on, Daytona Championship USA from 2017, which is the background image you guys seeing, this Daytona USA 3, the game that I praised for having all the fictional sponsors and whatever, had an advanced track map that moved as you raced. All of these gauges would be nice to have. It would be good to have as options for the players, especially for like non-hardcore, because not everybody's a super hardcore racer. So give people that option. Have it, you can toggle it on and off. We literally sat through a Motorsports Games live stream where they literally said they didn't have any of these things because it made it more authentic. Notice how I copied him right there. Shame on Motorsport Games. Here is a legitimate NASCAR game with the, I know this is Eutechnics, and we all like to trash Eutechnics, but let's just look at the good stuff here. You got all the gauges, the speedometer, of course, the fuel gauge, should be a tire gauge somewhere in there. Of course, your track map, your mirrors. I don't know how you make a new NASCAR game with no mirrors. I mean, dude, literally, I've seen, like, cheap mobile games that have freaking mirrors. So, there you go, guys. Mirror, gauges, and look at that. They even had, like, this little middle gauge right here where you could see, like, how close you were to the other cars and the draft wake and effects and all that. That was cool to have. So this was not a bad layout, just the game sucked. Custom setups. This is something that people have been really complaining about. Custom setups allow the players to customize the handling and driving characteristics of their car, and it's more realistic. However, not everyone is an engineer. We have already addressed that the automatic crew chief is supposed to help you. But if anything, implement the slider system, which allows you to adjust how loose or tight the car is, how loose or tight the car rides. Again, we are talking about options. But do your research as developers and make the custom setups as authentic as possible to how you adjust the real cars. And the thing is, here I'm going to mention one more thing. These guys at Motorsports Games wasted a year working on an outdated, the Gen 6 car. That car was outdated. Why didn't they just skip 2021 and take a year off to give us a really authentic next-gen experience? But no, you wasted all this time on an outdated car. That whole game was a waste of time, but you guys know what I'm saying. And of course, you saw it in the background before I go to the next thing. Look at that. You had all the options in the background. You got camber, your tires, springs, shocks. Hardcore players understand it, what you need to upgrade or just, modify in your car to make it run better. What should it sound like? Sound is exactly what it sounds like. It's what the game sounds like while you are playing. From the roaring of the crowd, the voices, the walls, the contact, the music, and of course, the most important thing, the cars. Most NASCAR games have sounded terrible in most games. It took all the way until NASCAR Heat 4 to get proper sounding cars. With the technology we have today, such as sticking audio recording devices on cars while they're driving around, and basic sound mixing devices the sound team has, we really should have a better sounding game at this point. Oh yeah, don't forget, make the spotters useful. And I remember someone bringing this up in the comments section. Unfortunately, I don't remember them by name. Have them keep you updated on your position in the race, when to pit, lap times, and when other cars are around you on the track, where other cars are around you on the track, etc., or etc. Basically, this spotter needs to be useful. He needs to keep you updated on the most important information. And of course, if you're wanting to know what these cars sound like, watch any real-life NASCAR race. You know, the cars are loud, they sound great, and they're cool cars to listen to. They make an awesome sound, especially the next-gen cars, so you want the games to sound good. Thankfully, the sound files were excellent in NASCAR Rivals for the next-gen cars, so I really hope this is not a problem with the next developer. It really sucked all those years having unrealistic sounding cars. But yeah, guys, go check it out for yourself, what the cars sound like on YouTube and stuff like that. You know, it's a pretty basic aspect of NASCAR racing, the sounds of the cars. Of course, each race series, any type of racing series, they're going to have a unique sounding car. So yeah, make sure you get this right for that game. In conclusion, all of these features are important to have in the game out of the box. These are not features that have to be waited on or have to be waited on year after year. They are simple, basic features that are standard for all racing games. Not only are they important to the game, but the game would feel unfinished without them. Any final thoughts? This could potentially be the finale, the final episode of the series until I come up with more ideas for the series. And I definitely know there's other ideas that I was going to bring up, but I forgot before I made this whole series. So we could definitely talk about some more things, but it may be a long while until the next episode. So any ideas that you have, type in the chat, and it'll be investigated by myself and Disco Inferno 70. If you agree with all the points that I made, keep on responding in the chat and supporting this content. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to the live streams and going back and tuning into the original videos here on Project 94. Once again, thank you to Disco Inferno 70 and all the people in the live stream during that. It's pretty awesome to have my videos on there and to see that other YouTubers are actually agreeing with what I'm saying. And a lot of my stuff, a lot of these ideas are really echoed from Disco Inferno 70. Honestly, without Disco Inferno 70, we probably wouldn't even have this series because he did an excellent job over the years of covering these details. And I just take the same ideas that he's doing and present it in my style. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think of this series? Definitely let us know in the comments down below and in the chat what you think about the How to Improve NASCAR video game series. So that's going to be it for the series for now. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.
Well, another great video from Project 94. Thank you so much. I really hope that you guys, people in the community, when the time comes, when some new developer pops up, whoever ends up, taking over and develop a NASCAR game, whatever, these are the messages we have to send them. Videos from Project 94. Let them know these are the things we expect to see in these games, right? The more that people contact them, let them know, the better. So go check out Project 94, give them a like. Great job. Another video that, of course, I agree with. But well done, man. Well done. Let me check a few comments before I sign off. It is getting late. Let's see. Mark Forget, welcome. If iRacing Monster Games makes the next NASCAR game, they may not be using the Unity engine anymore. Unity screwed themselves recently. So, I heard about this. Unity just announced this plan, right? This evil plan that they're going to charge game developers retroactively, by the way, based on how many games they sell, things like that, a licensing fee, whatever. Whatever deal they already had going, they're going to go and just demand more money out of nowhere. And they're going to go retroactive. So even if you never had an agreement with these people, it's a whole fucking mess. I can't get into it. It's a really deep thing. But if you look up Unity Engine right now, like just this week, you're gonna see Young Ye. If I don't know if you guys watch him, he covers this stuff. He covers it, and it's insane. They already lost a shitload of money in terms of their stock value just from the announcement. A lot of developers are now backing out. They're saying, I'm already working on a project and now I'm fucked. Other people are like, I'm back and I'm gonna go elsewhere. So it's a big fucking mess. I don't care what engine somebody uses. As long as they put the proper amount of attention and detail and work into it, I don't care. So, yeah, probably, who knows? It's good that we're hearing about it now, though, before a developer comes on the scene. Jonathan Johnson says, what's your take on what Denny said yesterday? It's funny, but stupid and frustrating at the same time. I'm not sure what he said. I did not watch the post race. I did read somewhere where he kind of said something about he beat everybody's favorite driver and all this stuff. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan, never have been. Uh, the fact that he might say something dumb isn't really surprising to me, but I don't really know what you're talking about, so you got to let me know at least with more detail. Austin says they got to have mirrors, definitely. I agree. The spotter in ignition was a terrible rap. Yeah, that was just bad. Bobby says your Technics had great sounds, especially the cars. Um, it's been a long time. I don't remember. Austin says another great presentation. I agree. Good job, Project 94. There's a little treat in the outro. Okay, so hold on. I'm still. Let's see.
A
Damn.
new winner.
All right, hold on.
Get NFL.
Thank you for that, Project 94. Um, there was something else I wanted to mention. Don't remember now. I wonder how many people are still in the live stream. Okay, guys. I want to thank everybody for showing up. I know it's Sunday. I know football's on, but thank you for showing up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. So if you got any other questions or anything to say, just leave it in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you guys again, maybe next week. So you guys have a good weekend. And yeah, take care, guys.